It's 2:47 a.m. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Your mind is racing through tomorrow's problems, last week's mistakes, next month's worries. You're exhausted, but you can't sleep. The Stoics discovered why this happens 2,000 years ago. And tonight, you're going to learn the truth they knew. MindCast audiobooks, where every word fuels your growth. We take lessons from the world's greatest thinkers and show you how to use them to level up your life. Chapter 1. Why Your Mind Won't Shut Off. It's 2:47 a.m. again. The clock's red digits hover in the dark like a warning light you can't unplug. You've already flipped your pillow to the cool side 3 times, rolled from one shoulder to the other, pulled the blanket up, pushed it down. Tried to remember if you turned off the kitchen light. The world outside your window is silent. No cars, no footsteps, no sounds except the soft hum of something electric in the walls. Yet inside, a crowd is gathered. Every thought has shown up for the midnight meeting. The unfinished email, the forgotten reply, the voice that said something careless at lunch, the worry about next week's bill, the memory of what you should have said years ago. They circle like moths around a candle that never burns out. You close your eyes and whisper, "Please stop." But the mind doesn't obey. You shift. Search for a position that will trick your body into sleep. You count the breaths, then the seconds, then the number of times you try to count. The more you try, the more awake you become. There's a thin, invisible tension between wanting rest and forcing it, like pulling a knot tighter in the hope it will loosen. This is the moment the Stoics understood 2,000 years ago, when control becomes the enemy of peace. Seneca once wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. If he were lying here beside you, he would say, "You are fighting ghosts." You try to command your thoughts as if they were soldiers waiting for orders, but they are missed. The more tightly you grasp them, the faster they dissolve and reform. You tell yourself you must sleep because tomorrow requires energy, focus, patience. You measure the hours left until the alarm, 4, maybe 5 if you're lucky. You calculate the cost of every minute lost, and in doing so lose another. Sleep has become a negotiation, and the mind a restless lawyer arguing its case before a judge who has already left the room. You remember reading somewhere that you should let thoughts pass like clouds. You picture them moving across the dark sky of your mind. But your clouds are storm-thick, heavy with lightning. You keep watching, waiting for the break. And watching becomes another form of holding on. Here is the first truth. You are trying to control the uncontrollable. The body knows how to sleep. It's the mind that doubts the body's wisdom. You lie there commanding the heart to slow, the muscles to soften, the breath to deepen. But every command is resistance disguised as effort. The Stoics would call it an error of control, an attempt to govern what was never yours to govern. You are not meant to order the universe into stillness. You are meant to align with its rhythm. Think of a leaf floating on water. When the leaf fights the current, it spins and trembles. When it accepts the flow, it glides without effort. Your thoughts are that leaf. The river is time. You can splash, or you can drift. In the silence of your room, you can almost hear Marcus Aurelius whisper, "Accept what comes woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." The words sound ancient, but they're practical in this hour. Acceptance is not surrendering to sleeplessness. It's releasing the illusion that you control sleep. When you release that illusion, the mind begins to quiet, because it has nothing left to conquer. You turn again, but slower now. The pillow's warmth feels less like irritation, more like a reminder that you are alive. The blanket presses its gentle weight across your chest, and for a second you notice how air moves in and out, steady and patient. The world hasn't demanded anything of you for hours, only you have. What if the mind's noise isn't an enemy, but an echo of unlistened thoughts? All day you move too quickly to hear them. At night, they finally have their chance. They rise not to punish you, but to be seen. You don't have to argue with them. You can simply nod as if to say, "I see you, but I'm not following tonight." You think of the Stoic practice of evening reflection. Each night, philosophers like Epictetus would review the day, not to obsess, but to clear the slate. You realize you've been doing the opposite, replaying without releasing. Reflection has turned into rumination, review into rehearsal. In the soft dark, you experiment. You let one thought appear, a memory of something left unfinished. Instead of wrestling with it, you label it gently. Tomorrow's problem. Then you let it drift. Another thought appears. What if I never fall asleep? You label it. Not in my control. It floats away. For the first time tonight, silence begins to form, not from absence, but from acceptance. You remember the Stoic image of the archer. Your duty is to draw the bow with care and aim with intention. Whether the arrow hits its mark is not yours to decide. Sleep is like that arrow. Your job is only to prepare the body, to breathe, to loosen the grip. The rest belongs to nature. You breathe again, slower now. Somewhere inside, the frantic rhythm begins to smooth. You're not yet asleep, but you're no longer fighting. You are allowing. There is a strange kind of peace in realizing that nothing needs to be fixed in this moment. The world outside is at rest. Even the stars burn without urgency. You lie there beneath them, another small piece of the same vast system, obeying the same quiet laws. The ceiling fades into darkness. The clock still glows, but it no longer accuses, it simply marks time. You feel the pull to check your phone, to distract, to seek a quick comfort. But the wiser part of you, the Stoic within, whispers, "Be still. There is nothing missing here." The mind stirs one last time. "But what if I can't?" And you answer silently, "Then I can't." And that too is fine. The tension loosens. Control slips away like sand hand through open fingers. Outside, a breeze stirs somewhere beyond the window. It does not ask permission. It does not announce its arrival. It moves because that is its nature. So too does the night move through you. For now, this is enough. You wake again in the quiet hours, the world still and expectant. Your thoughts, stubborn and uninvited, stir like restless shadows. You try to push them away, to command them into silence, but they cling, relentless. And yet, in that very struggle, you begin to see the first lesson. Control is never over the world, only over your mind's response to it. Consider the day ahead, the errands, the voices, the ceaseless demands. All of it moves like a river, and you are neither the river nor its banks. You are the observer. You are the mind navigating its currents, and you can choose how to steer. To get angry at the river? Futile. To resist it? Exhausting. But to row steadily, with purpose, adjusting for the bends as they come, that is mastery. Imagine now a moment of frustration. A coworker speaks harshly, a plan collapses, a word wounds. Your instinct may urge a shout, a rebuttal, a surrender to irritation. Pause, feel it. Recognize that this sensation, this urge, is yours alone to command. The external event is indifferent. It does not demand your consent. You may respond with reason or react with impulse. The difference is yours and yours alone. The Stoics called this assent, the power to accept or reject impressions. Every day, countless impressions will assault you, and every day you will be offered the same choice. Will you give your assent to anger, to fear, to envy? Or will you train your mind to see clearly, to measure the weight of each thought before you allow it to shape your soul? You are practicing, then, with each small encounter, the art of the inner citadel. It is a fortress no one else can breach. Harsh words, cruel deeds, misfortune. They may press at the gates, but they cannot enter unless you invite them. And why invite them? What enemy is greater than the weakness you tolerate within yourself? Now turn inward. What is your desire? Wealth? Recognition? Safety? All these are shadows, illusions that rise and fade. Do not mistake them for substance. True strength, the Stoics remind us, is in virtue and reason, in alignment with nature. To live virtuously is to act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, even when the world offers temptation to abandon them, even when no one watches. Do not wait for life to teach you in extremes. Start small. Begin with patience when delayed. Begin with honesty when falsehood seems easier. Begin with courage when fear whispers that you should shrink. Each act, however minute, strengthens your inner foundation. And when calamity comes, and it always will, you will not crumble, because the fortress is already built. Think of death, not as a terror, but as a teacher. The Stoics remind us that life is fleeting, and each day a gift and a test. The morning sun may rise and the night may fall, but your opportunity to practice virtue exists only here, only now. Wasted on trivial anger, on envy, on the endless yearning for what is not yours. No, the wise see death not as an end to fear, but as a lens to sharpen the present. You may feel doubt, as all do. You may feel the tug of comfort, of attachment, of old habits that resist change. Accept these feelings, but do not obey them blindly. Stand firm. Like the captain on a storm-tossed ship, you may not calm the sea, but you can hold your course, steady and sure. And consider this. Happiness is not found in the applause of others, nor in the accumulation of fleeting pleasures. It is found in tranquility, self-mastery, and integrity. It is found in the quiet knowledge that you have acted rightly, that your mind remains your own, unshaken by circumstance, unbent by fortune. So, in this quiet hour, breathe deeply. Let the air remind you of your aliveness. Let your thoughts pass like clouds, observed but not possessed. Let the world move as it will. You remain steadfast, your inner citadel intact. This is your practice. This is your freedom. Tomorrow, challenges will rise. They always do. You will be tested again and again. But remember, the Stoic path is not a single conquest. It is daily discipline, repeated vigilance, continuous choice. And with each choice made wisely, you carve your soul into something enduring, something unassailable. As you rise to meet the day, carry this thought. All that is truly yours is your mind, your reason, your choice. Guard them well. The world may rage, fortune may shift, others may betray, but you remain, not broken, not conquered, alive, awake, and free. You step into your day, yet the world does not pause for your intentions. Traffic grinds, messages pile, demands multiply. And here's the test. How will you respond? Will you let irritation tighten your chest? Will you chase control where it does not exist? Or will you center yourself steady and deliberate? Notice the urge to complain, to judge, to lash out. That urge is natural. It is not wrong to feel it. But it is wrong to surrender to it. The Stoic does not deny emotion. He examines it, measures it, and chooses the course aligned with reason. The moment your impulse rises, name it. Call it out. This is irritation. It is not me. I can choose. Simply recognizing the thought begins to dissolve its power. As you encounter others, some kind, some careless, some cruel, practice this. Assume nothing. Judge nothing prematurely. Respond with clarity. The coworker who snaps at you is not your enemy. The driver who cuts in is not a personal affront. They act according to their nature, limited by what they know, shaped by circumstance. You act according to yours, and that is enough. Now consider time. You feel it slip, a precious commodity in relentless motion. Do not squander it on bitterness, envy, or idle distraction. Allocate it as a Stoic would, for learning, for reflection, for virtuous action. Each moment spent deliberately is victory. Each moment lost carelessly is gone forever. And yet, do not grieve the lost time. What is past cannot be changed. Only the present can be molded. Turn to adversity. When difficulty strikes, do not recoil. Welcome it, not with joy, but with acceptance. Every challenge is an exercise in resilience. Every obstacle a lesson. A heavy workload teaches endurance. A failed plan teaches humility. A criticism teaches temperance. To resist these lessons is to resist life itself. To embrace them is to transform them into allies rather than enemies. Picture yourself in a moment of real trial. A plan fails, a betrayal stings, fortune abandons you. The instinct may be despair. The Stoic way is steadiness. Recall, events are indifferent. Only your judgments assign them value. You cannot dictate what happens, but you can dictate how you interpret it, how you respond, how you act next. This is freedom. Practice daily reflection. Each night, review your actions. Where did you act with wisdom? Where did you falter? Where did fear, anger, or desire guide you against reason? Do not judge harshly, but learn. Write it, speak it, feel it. Let reflection guide tomorrow's choices. The mind that examines itself grows sharper, stronger, freer. Consider the people you admire, perhaps philosophers, perhaps ordinary figures of courage. What makes them remarkable is not fortune, not circumstance, but their internal mastery. They lived with purpose, with principle, with the awareness that they controlled what mattered most, their own reasoned mind. You may emulate them, not by imitation, but by practice, by striving each day to embody wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. And now, let's speak of desire. You crave what seems beyond reach: comfort, claim, security. The Stoic teaches that craving is a chain. Desire binds the mind to outcomes, to things that may never come. Observe the craving, but do not obey it blindly. Ask, do I need this to be content? Can I find contentment in virtue itself? The answer is always yes. Virtue is the one thing untouched by fortune, the one true wealth. Imagine tomorrow or next week or years hence. Chaos may arise. Relationships may falter. Health may waver. Possessions may vanish. And yet, the mind disciplined today will endure. What cannot be taken from you is the practice you perform now, the fortitude you cultivate now, the clarity you choose now. Breathe. Let this thought settle in your chest. All that is fleeting is beyond your control. All that is lasting is within. External goods, comfort, status, praise, they are fleeting. Only reason, character, and virtue endure. Only these create freedom. Only these anchor the soul. Now take one final exercise, one simple action for today. When conflict arises, pause. When fear arises, pause. When desire arises, pause. Breathe. Observe. Ask, is this thought necessary? Is it helpful? Does it align with a virtue? Let this pause become a habit. Let it form a shield around your mind, an invisible citadel. No fortune, no insult, no accident can breach. As you close your eyes tonight, remember, each day is practice. Life is not perfection achieved, but discipline performed. Each breath, each choice, each act of reason is a brick in the fortress of your soul. You do not need applause, approval, or fortune. You need only reason, courage, justice, and temperance. All else is indifferent. Rise tomorrow with this thought as your guide. Your mind is yours always. No one can take it. No one can dictate it. It is free if you choose it to be. Chapter 2. The Truth About Nighttime Anxiety. You lie awake again. The clock ticks softly in the darkness, a metronome marking the slow passage of hours. Outside, the world sleeps, oblivious. Inside, your mind refuses rest. Thoughts race, circling endlessly. Unfinished work, unspoken words, failures replayed, fears anticipated. You reach for the familiar impulse to control, to plan, to reason. But the harder you try, the more elusive calm becomes. This is nighttime anxiety. Quiet yet relentless. Invisible yet overwhelming. It whispers lies. You're behind. You're not enough. Something bad will happen. You hear it because you let it. And yet, there is a truth that the anxious mind forgets. Your thoughts are not reality. They are interpretations, guesses, and projections. Anxiety is a guest, not a master. Consider this. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts each day. Most of them are neutral, some are useful, but a portion are shadows, imagined scenarios, rehearsals of failure, catastrophic projections. And when night falls, the mind, left without distractions, magnifies them. The darkness is not the enemy. It is merely a mirror, reflecting the fears that have accumulated unseen during the day. Begin with observation. Do not fight. Do not suppress. Do not chase sleep desperately. Watch your thoughts. Name them. This is worry. This is fear. This is doubt. To label them is to diminish their power. They become objects of curiosity rather than chains around your chest. You are the observer, the guardian of your mind, not the prisoner of its restless creations. Now consider the origin of your anxiety. Often it is rooted in the illusion of control. You imagine that by predicting every outcome, preparing for every eventuality, you can prevent misfortune. But reality is neither predictable nor fully controllable. Events happen, accidents occur, people fail, and the universe unfolds with indifference to your plans. To anchor your peace to outcomes you cannot dictate is to invite torment. Shift your attention inward. What can you control? Your breath, your thoughts, your actions, your response to events. The Stoics call this the domain of reason, your fortress against chaos. Nighttime anxiety tempts you to forget this, to believe that control lies in outcomes, when it lies entirely in your mind. Oh, practice a simple exercise now. Focus on your breath. Inhale slowly, deeply, filling your lungs as if you are drawing peace into your body. Hold for a moment. Exhale, releasing tension, releasing imagined fears, releasing the need to control what cannot be controlled. Repeat. Each breath roots you in the present. Each breath reminds you. The past is gone. The future is unknown. Only this moment exists. Consider your fears individually. Write them down in your mind or on paper if it is at hand. See them clearly, detach from them, and ask, is this true? Is this within my control? If not, why grant it power over me? Most anxieties crumble under this examination. They are shadows cast by imagination, not bricks in reality. Now the second layer, your body. Anxiety is not only in the mind, it courses through your body. Heart races, muscles tense, stomach knots. Recognize it. Name it. Feel it fully without judgment. Tension is the mind's messenger, not its master. Release your shoulders, relax your jaw, unclench your fists. Let your body remind your mind that you are safe, at least in this moment. Nighttime is also a teacher of impermanence. Thoughts will rise, thoughts will fall. Anxiety comes and goes like waves. You do not need to hold it down or escape it. Simply ride it, observe it, let it pass. The Stoics remind us, all things external are fleeting. Your peace depends not on the absence of worry, but on your mastery of response. You may ask, but what if disaster strikes? What if I fail? What if I lose control? Reflect. Even if the worst happens, you still have your reason. You still have your choice. You still have your mind. Nothing else can take this away unless you give it away. Fear of future misfortune is often worse than misfortune itself. By preparing your mind tonight, you armor yourself against both. A powerful exercise. Imagine the worst-case scenario, not to dwell, but to prepare. Visualize it clearly. Feel the initial shock. Then ask, how would I respond? What could I do? In imagining catastrophe rationally, you strip it of irrational terror. You cultivate resilience. The mind learns. Difficulty is manageable. Fear is optional. Next, gratitude. As counterintuitive as it seems, even at night, find something to appreciate. A memory, a comfort, a breath, a lesson learned. Gratitude shifts perspective. It reminds you that the mind is not only a chamber of fear, but also a garden of contentment. Plant seeds before sleep. Let them grow quietly through the night. Remember, nighttime anxiety is not a flaw in you. It is a natural signal, a call to practice Stoic principles more deeply. To respond with patience, with reason, with self-awareness, is to turn weakness into strength. Anxiety becomes a tool, not a tyrant. It teaches vigilance, self-mastery, and the art of surrender to what cannot be controlled. Now breathe again, slowly, deliberately. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Each breath reminds you, you are alive, aware, capable. The night may whisper fears, but you hold the lantern of reason. Let it illuminate the shadows. Let it guide you to calm. Before sleep fully comes, reflect on these truths. You cannot control external events, only your response. Thoughts are not facts. They are impressions. Anxiety is temporary. Virtue is lasting. Night is a mirror, not an enemy. Mastery of mind is mastery of life. When your eyes close, carry these truths inward. Let your heart beat slow. Let your mind rest, not by force, but by understanding. Nighttime will still come, again and again. But so will your mastery, again and again. You are not powerless, you are not helpless, you are alive, you are aware, and above all, you are free in your mind. You awake in the middle of the night again, not from the alarm, not from noise, but from the subtle pressure in your chest. It is the old companion, worry. The mind races ahead of you, imagining tomorrow, next week, next year. And still, you lie here, aware that time is now, and now is all you have. Consider this. Nighttime anxiety is often born from a habit of overestimating danger and underestimating your resilience. You anticipate catastrophes as if imagining them prevents them. Yet imagination has a sly way of inflating problems beyond proportion. The Stoics teach that fear is rarely of what is real, but of what is perceived. Your perception is yours to govern. Begin with grounding. Feel the points of contact between your body and the bed. Notice your hands resting at your sides, your feet against the mattress, your back supported. The world outside your skin is vast and unknowable, but this body, this moment, is yours. Anchor yourself here. Anchor yourself now. Next, Observe the thoughts that rise. Let them pass like clouds. There is no need to fight them, to analyze them, to erase them. Watch them. Label them. This is worry. This is doubt. This is fear. To name them is to weaken them. The Stoics remind us that we are disturbed not by events themselves, but by our judgments about them. Your judgment is the lever of freedom. Now practice the mental exercise of differentiating what is in your control from what is not. Picture each worry as a stone. Place it in one hand if it is within your control, and the other if it is not. Notice the difference in weight. The stones outside your control, drop them. Let them fall. Let them rest in the river of the world. Your hands, your mind, your breath, these are yours. Keep them free. Consider the night itself. Darkness is neither enemy nor punishment. It is a reminder of impermanence, of cycles, of the simple rhythm of life. All things pass, joy, sorrow, worry, and even sleeplessness. By accepting the night, you practice acceptance itself. By accepting the mind's unrest, you practice mastery. Reflect on past nights of anxiety. Recall the catastrophes you imagined, the disasters you feared. How many of them came to pass exactly as imagined? How many were exaggerated, misperceived, or entirely false? The mind, left unchecked, is a dramatist, not a prophet. Recognition of this truth diminishes the power of nighttime fear. Now shift to the body. Anxiety manifests as tension. Tight shoulders, clenched jaw, shallow breath. Slow your breathing. Inhale 4 counts, hold 2, exhale 6. Feel the chest expand, contract, release. With each exhale, release imagined threats. With each inhale, draw calm into the body. Anchor yourself physically as well as mentally. Imagine the day ahead. You do not need to solve every problem tonight. Planning is useful, but over-planning is an addiction to control. Write down tomorrow's tasks briefly, then set them aside. Tomorrow's worries are tomorrow's. Today is for presence. The Stoics would ask, what is yours to do now? What action can be taken in this moment? Focus there. Practice negative visualization. Consider a minor setback that could occur tomorrow. See it clearly. Then imagine responding with patience, clarity, and virtue. This is not pessimism, it is preparation. By rehearsing resilience, you condition your mind to handle difficulty without fear. Gratitude can be a counterweight to anxiety. Even at night, find something to appreciate. The quiet of the house and the comfort of your bed, a small victory from today. Gratitude shifts attention from lack to sufficiency, from fear to acknowledgement. Anchor your mind in what exists, not what may never be. Remember, nighttime anxiety is temporary. It does not define you. It is a symptom of engagement with life, of caring, of consciousness. You are awake because you are alive. You are uneasy because you perceive possibilities. Neither condition is a failure. Both are opportunities for mastery. Finally, consider this meditation. I cannot control events, only my judgments. I cannot foresee the future, only choose reason. I cannot prevent misfortune, only respond wisely. Repeat it. Let it echo through the quiet. Let it build a citadel in your mind. Your peace is not outside, it is within. Your freedom is not in circumstance, it is in choice. Slowly allow your body to sink into the mattress. Let your hands relax, your legs lengthen, your breath deepen. Nighttime may still hum with worries, but your mind is steadier now, trained to observe, to differentiate, to choose. The darkness becomes a canvas, not a cage. Sleep is not demanded. It arrives naturally when fear no longer clings. The night will continue to test you. So will the day. But with practice, with patience, with reason, each anxiety becomes a lesson. Each sleepless hour an exercise in resilience. The mind, like a muscle, strengthens under discipline. You are alive, You are aware, you are capable, you are free. Imagine yourself lying there, the quiet of the house pressing in, your mind restless. The usual stories replay. Mistakes, regrets, worries about tomorrow, and yet there is something vital in this moment. You are conscious of your mind, and consciousness is freedom. The anxious mind wants to pull you into stories, into what-ifs, but you can remain above the narrative. You can be the observer, the witness, not the prisoner. Begin a subtle mental exercise. Am I imagining or perceiving? Whenever fear arises, ask yourself, is this real or am I projecting? The coworker's harsh words yesterday are gone. The imagined failure tomorrow does not exist. Only this moment exists. Anxiety thrives on unreality. Reason thrives on presence. Next, explore the body's language of anxiety. Feel your heart racing. Notice the tension in your chest, your shoulders, your jaw. Place a hand over your chest. Say to yourself, this is my body reacting. It is not truth, it is signal. Let your awareness be a bridge between mind and body. With each breath, let the tension loosen, consciously relaxing the muscles that have held worry like armor. Now practice micro-affirmations for the night. Softly in your mind repeat, I am alive. I am present. I control my mind. I do not obey fear. This too shall pass. These simple truths, repeated in the quiet, anchor the mind. They are invisible scaffolds, supporting your resilience while the body rests. Consider next a mental inventory. Visualize the worries as a row of books on a shelf. One by one, examine them. Which are facts? Which are speculation? Which are outside your control? Remove the books that do not belong. Rearrange the rest neatly. This is not avoidance. It is curation. It is training the mind to distinguish what deserves attention from what does not. Turn now to time perspective. Nighttime anxiety often arises from fear of future events. You imagine disasters, failures, judgments, losses. Yet the Stoics teach the future does not exist. Only now exists. Only now is yours to act wisely. Let this thought settle like a calm river. Tomorrow is a field I may cultivate, but it is not mine to control. Today is mine to master. A practical exercise. Negative visualization before sleep. Imagine a minor misfortune, a small disagreement, a delayed task, a minor disappointment. Now imagine yourself responding with calm, reason, and integrity. By rehearsing adversity rationally, you reduce fear and strengthen resilience. Fear becomes preparation, not paralysis. Gratitude can also reshape nighttime perception. Even in darkness, recall 3 things from the day you are grateful for. A kind word, a moment of laughter, the warmth of your bed. Let them rise in your mind like small flames, illuminating the shadows of worry. Gratitude is not denial of anxiety, it is balance. It reminds you the world is not only threat, it is also provision. Remember, anxiety is a teacher, not a tyrant. It signals areas where the mind has attachment, where desires overreach, where control is imagined. Observe the signals, but do not obey them blindly. Each restless night is an opportunity to practice patience, to refine perspective, to strengthen reason. Finally, close the chapter with intentional surrender. Lie still, breathe deeply, release the imagined burdens. Whisper to yourself, I cannot control the world. I can control my judgment. I choose reason. I choose peace. Let this mantra resonate in the silence. Let it guide you into sleep. Nighttime anxiety may still rise, but it no longer dominates. You are awake in mind, yet at rest in body. You are alert, yet calm. You are ready to meet tomorrow with clarity and courage. Chapter 3. What you can actually control. You wake in the morning, the first light creeping across the room, and already your mind is crowded with possibilities. Tasks, challenges, judgments, expectations, all of it presses in as if it owns you. And yet pause. Take a breath. Look carefully. How much of this belongs to you? How much is truly yours to command? The Stoics teach that the boundary between what we can control and what we cannot is the foundation of tranquility. It is a simple distinction, yet your life is often spent blurring it. The weather is not yours to command. The thoughts of others are not yours to direct. Fortune rises and falls with no regard for your wishes. But your own mind, your own judgments, your own choices, these are yours always. They are the only true domain of control. Consider your morning. A colleague may be irritable, traffic may be slow, your plans may face obstacles. The instinct is to resist, to push, to feel frustration. But stop. Ask, can I control this? If the answer is no, release it. If yes, act deliberately, guided by reason. Each choice becomes a test. Will I allow external circumstance to dictate my mind, or will I claim mastery? Begin with thoughts. Each thought that arises, fear, irritation, and longing is an impression. The Stoics call these fantasiae, mental images that present themselves as truth. Your power is not in preventing them from appearing, but in choosing which to endorse. Observe a thought. This task is overwhelming. Do you accept it as truth, or do you assess it calmly? It is challenging, but I can act methodically, step by step. In this simple distinction lies freedom. Next, your emotions. The mind often confuses feelings with fate. Anger at insult, envy at success, fear at uncertainty. They seem inevitable, uncontrollable. But notice, you feel them because you allow them to shape judgment. Pause, label them. This is irritation. This is fear. This is desire. Then ask, is this feeling necessary? Does it align with virtue? Emotions become tools, not chains, when examined in this way. Now, your actions. What you do is within your control. Not what others do, not what events bring, but how you act. Every word spoken, every decision made, every movement is yours. Stoics call this the essence of agency. You may not control recognition, reward, or outcome, but you control integrity, diligence, courage, temperance. Act in accordance with reason, and external results, though uncertain, cannot compromise your virtue. A practical exercise. Take a scenario you worry about, a difficult conversation, a looming project, a challenging client. Break it down into what is within your control and what is not. For example, you cannot control their reaction, timing, or mood. You can control your preparation, your tone, your effort, and your attitude. Focus your energy on the latter. By repeatedly doing this, you train the mind to release wasted anxiety and invest fully in action where it matters. Consider also your desires and aversions. Stoic wisdom emphasizes that suffering often arises from attachment, wanting what you cannot command, fearing what is inevitable. The sun will rise, the rain will fall, people will act according to their nature. Do you resist or do you accept? Desires are only burdensome when we confuse them with necessity. Cultivate desire for virtue, not for circumstance. Cultivate aversion only for vice, not for misfortune. Next, practice a mental exercise of control mapping. Visualize a circle around you. Inside the circle, thoughts, judgments, actions, effort. Outside the circle, fortune, others' opinions, accidents, the past, the future. Each time anxiety arises over the uncontrollable, mentally push it beyond the circle. Each time a choice arises, bring it within and act intentional. This simple visualization reinforces the boundary between mastery and surrender. Now reflect on the body. Stoic control extends to physical discipline. Your diet, exercise, rest, and habits are under your stewardship. Neglect them, and external forces exploit weakness. Govern them, and your resilience grows. A disciplined body supports a disciplined mind. Each small act, waking early, eating consciously, walking mindfully, is a reclaiming of what is yours. You may notice the mind resisting this truth. But I want certainty. I want stability. I want everyone and everything to align with my wishes. The Stoics would smile and remind you, certainty is an illusion. Stability is fleeting. The world is indifferent. Only the mind trained in reason and virtue is unshakable. Only what you control is truly yours. Exercise. Before sleep tonight, write down 3 things outside your control that cause stress today. Then write down 3 things within your control that you acted on, however small. Feel the contrast. Notice the weight released by letting go of the impossible. Feel the satisfaction, however subtle, of exercising agency. Finally, expand this awareness into daily practice. 1. Morning reflection. Identify what today offers that is yours to control. Set intention to. Act wisely. 2. Throughout the day, pause when irritation or worry rises. Ask, is this mine to govern? If not, release it. If yes, act with reason. 3. Evening reflection. Review the day. Where did you act within control? Where did you give your mind away? Learn, adjust, prepare for tomorrow. Each day, this cycle strengthens the mind, sharpens judgment, and cultivates the peace that comes from aligning effort with reality, desire with virtue, action with reason. You will find that external events lose the power to disturb you because your anchor is internal. You are not at the mercy of fortune, only your own reasoned choices. Imagine now a moment of tension arising in your day. Perhaps a coworker criticizes your work or a client questions your decisions. The instinct is to react immediately, defend, justify, explain, or lash out. Pause. Ask yourself, what is within my control here? You cannot control their words. You cannot control their judgment. You cannot force approval or gratitude. But you can control your response, the tone of your voice, the clarity of your words, the calmness of your demeanor. Acting wisely, even if misunderstood, is mastery. Acting impulsively, even if praised, is surrender. The Stoics remind us, virtue is in action, not in the reactions of others. Let's extend this to relationships. Family, friends, colleagues. They behave according to their nature, influenced by their past, their knowledge, their desires. You cannot dictate their emotions or thoughts. You cannot make them see your perspective or align with your wishes. But you can govern your own judgment. You can choose empathy, patience, honesty, and fairness. By focusing only on what you can control, you protect your peace while still acting rightly. Consider also mistakes and failure. You will fail. Everyone does. And yet worry often magnifies imagined consequences far beyond reality. Here is the Stoic principle. Failure is indifferent. Your effort is within your control. Prepare thoroughly, act with integrity, and accept the outcome. The world may not reward you, but your mind remains intact. Your virtue remains untarnished. Now, a practical mental exercise for mastery. Visualize 3 areas of your life: work, relationships, personal goals. Divide each into 2 lists, what is within your control and what is not. Notice the weight of each. Release the uncontrollable mentally. Focus energy entirely on the controllable. Practice this daily, and the mind gradually learns where to invest effort and where to surrender. Next, the subtle control of internal dialogue. Your thoughts about events, your self-talk, is entirely yours. When you catch yourself thinking, "This is unfair," or "I cannot handle this," pause. Replace it with, "I can respond wisely," or "I will act with virtue." This is subtle but profound. The mind that governs its internal dialogue governs its life. Physical exercise also strengthens control. Discipline in body fosters discipline in mind. A morning run, a walk, controlled breathing, stretching, all remind the mind of its agency. If you can govern your body, you can govern your thoughts. Each small victory over fatigue, impulse, or habit is a reinforcement of control. Now consider time, often misunderstood as uncontrollable. You cannot stretch hours, yet you can govern how you use them. Planning, prioritization, focus, and reflection, all are within your control. Laziness and distraction are voluntary surrender. By managing your attention, you reclaim the day and fortify your mind against chaos. Imagine a stressful event looming, a presentation, a confrontation, a financial decision. Anxiety rises. Ask yourself, which aspects are mine to manage? Write them down mentally or physically. Act on them decisively. Release the rest. You cannot control the outcome, but you can control preparation, effort, and intention. This is freedom in action. Another reflection. People often mistake pleasure and comfort as things to control. Weather, praise, fortune, possessions, they are not yours to govern. Focus instead on virtue and reason, the true sources of stability. Happiness arises from mastery of the mind, not mastery of circumstance. The world can shift and crumble, yet a reasoned mind remains unshaken. Finally, consider resilience as a muscle. Each day you practice discerning what is yours to control. Each decision, each pause, each reflection strengthens it. Tomorrow, a new challenge will appear, and you will meet it with poise because your foundation is internal, not external. You cannot control the world, but you can control your response, your effort, your reason, your character. That is power. That is freedom. That is peace. Before sleep tonight, write or reflect. What challenges today were beyond my control? Did I surrender or resist wisely? What actions today were fully mine to govern? Did I act with integrity and clarity? Where can I focus tomorrow to exercise control over thought, emotion, action, and body? These nightly reflections consolidate practice. They are not mere writing, they are mental training. They form habits that shape your response to life. You will find your mind quieter, your judgment sharper, your anxiety lighter. You will act less from impulse and more from deliberate reason. You are alive. You are aware. You are capable. You cannot control all that happens, but you can control how you think, how you act, how you choose. And in that, you are sovereign. No fortune can take it. No insult can diminish it. No misfortune can destroy it. Imagine now a moment of personal failure, something small, something large. It does not matter. Perhaps a project did not go as planned, a conversation failed, or a promise was broken. The mind may leap to blame, to self-criticism, to despair. Pause. Ask, which part of this is within my control? You cannot change the past. You cannot force others to act differently, but you can control your judgment. How you interpret the event, the lesson you draw, the action you take next. Focus on these elements. The Stoics remind us, we are judged not by outcomes, but by the virtue of our actions. Acting wisely is enough. Fortune need not be. Now turn to daily irritations, the small triggers that pull you from reason. A delayed email, a rude word, a minor mistake by another. Each is an opportunity. Ask, do I control this? If not, release it immediately. If yes, act thoughtfully, guided by reason and virtue. Over time, these small exercises build a mind resistant to disturbance, a mind anchored in what is truly yours. Consider your desires. Often anxiety arises from wanting what cannot be controlled: praise, comfort, security, affection. The Stoic path is not denial, but direction. Desire virtue, excellence, and wisdom, things within your power. Let external circumstances come and go. Let your attachment be to character, effort, and reason. Let us now explore anger and resentment. When provoked, the mind instinctively reacts. But pause. The insult or offense exists externally, but the anger you feel is internal. You can allow it to dictate your actions, or you can observe, label, and respond with reason. By mastering anger, you reclaim agency over your mind. A practical nighttime exercise. Before sleep, reflect on one instance today where you were disturbed. Identify. What part of it was under your control? What part was not? How would you respond differently tomorrow, acting only within your control? This simple reflection, repeated nightly, rewires the mind to focus effort where it counts and release energy wasted on the uncontrollable. Next, let's discuss preparation without attachment. You can prepare for challenges, study, practice, anticipate, but never cling to outcomes. Preparation is within your control. Outcome is not. The wise act diligently, then let the world unfold. Anxiety fades when effort is distinguished from expectation. Now, consider your speech and words. You cannot control how others interpret them, but you can control clarity, honesty, and kindness. Speak with integrity, speak with reason, speak with courage. The world may misinterpret, but your virtue remains intact. Reflect also on time management. Hours will pass whether you govern them or not. Focus on what is yours to direct. Attention, effort, priority. Each small act of deliberate attention compounds into mastery over the day. Each distraction surrendered is a gift of control reclaimed. Imagine facing a challenging decision. Anxiety rises. Ask, what can I control in this choice? Perhaps preparation, logic, research, reflection, alignment with virtue. Focus energy there. Release worry about result, opinion, or reward. By acting deliberately in what is yours, you neutralize fear. A Stoic practice. Morning contemplation. Before the day begins, visualize challenges likely to arise. Decide in advance how you will respond virtuously. Each mental rehearsal strengthens the mind. You act in life with reason, not impulse. You meet uncertainty with calm. You reclaim freedom. Evening reflection is equally vital. Review your day. Where did you act in accordance with what is yours? Where did you give your power away to circumstance or emotion? How will tomorrow be better? This cycle of reflection, action, and preparation trains the mind. It builds resilience, clarity, and peace because your effort is aligned with reality. You are no longer at the mercy of fortune. Your mind is sovereign. Finally, let us consider the power of acceptance. You cannot control others' actions, society's whims, or the randomness of events. You can control acceptance, acknowledging reality without resistance. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means clarity, focus, and energy devoted to what is truly yours. As you lie down tonight, breathe deeply. Feel the chest expand, the body relax, the mind settling. Review the day's efforts. Note your successes. Release what was beyond your power. Repeat silently. I control my mind. I control my actions. I control my judgments. Everything else is indifferent. This mantra is your anchor. Anxiety may rise. Misfortune may strike. Others may misunderstand. But your mind, your virtue, your effort remain untouched. They are yours. They are sacred. They are freedom. Tomorrow you will wake again. New challenges, new tests, new opportunities. But you are prepared. Not because the world is predictable, but because your mind is disciplined. You know what is yours, and you act accordingly. You release what is not. You live fully within your circle of control. Chapter 4. Overthinking is a choice. You sit quietly, yet your mind is loud. Thoughts circle endlessly, replaying events, imagining outcomes, spinning narratives that may or may not be true. Every scenario, every what if, every imagined failure rises in vivid detail, and still, you listen. You let it continue. Here's the first truth. Overthinking is not an inevitability. It is choice. Your mind is producing thoughts constantly. It does not stop. But attention, focus, engagement with thought, these are yours to govern. You choose which thoughts to entertain, which to discard, which to explore. Consider the mechanics of overthinking. It often begins with a spark, an uncertainty, a mistake, a fear. The mind seizes upon it, amplifies it, constructs an intricate web of what could happen scenarios. Anxiety follows, sleep retreats, energy drains. You feel trapped, yet the trap is mostly in perception. Begin with observation. Watch your thoughts as if you are watching a river flow. Notice their rise and fall. Notice which thoughts grab your attention and which slip by. Name them. This is worry. This is doubt. This is speculation. Naming diminishes power. Observation without judgment is a first step toward freedom. Next, ask a simple question. Is this thought useful? Is it necessary? Overthinking thrives on unnecessary speculation. If a thought does not inform action, clarify understanding, or guide virtue, it is a distraction. Let it go. Let the river carry it downstream. Here's a practical exercise. Take a thought that repeats endlessly. Write it down. Analyze it. Ask, can I act on this? Can I change it? Will it matter in a week, a month, a year? Most often, the answer is no. By examining it consciously, you strip it of unconscious power. You reclaim attention, energy, and clarity. Consider also future projections. Overthinking often arises from imagining outcomes that may never occur. You anticipate disaster, rejection, failure. Yet these are stories, not reality. The Stoics remind us, do not wish for events to happen as imagined. Do not fear events as imagined. Focus on what you can govern, your thoughts, actions, and responses. Emotions play a subtle role. Fear, regret, desire, and longing magnify thought. You feel compelled to analyze, plan, anticipate, or ruminate. Pause. Label the emotion. Ask, does this emotion serve reason? Does it guide virtue? Often does not. Observe it. Release it. Let thought and emotion become allies, not enemies. Another exercise. Time box overthinking. Allocate a short, deliberate period, 5 minutes, to consider a problem or decision. After the time is up, move on. This trains the mind to focus consciously, not compulsively. Repeated practice builds mental discipline and reduces the automatic spiral of thoughts. Now, consider self-judgment. Overthinking often feeds itself through criticism. I should have done this. I shouldn't have said that. I am not enough. Recognize that judgment is separate from action. Reflect honestly on mistakes, but do not dwell. Learn, adjust, and release. Constant rumination does not teach, it enslaves. Shift perspective to action versus thought. Thinking without action is a trap. Action without reflection is blind. The Stoics teach balance. Think wisely, then act decisively. Overthinking delays action and feeds doubt. Deliberate thinking focused on what is within your control, leads to clarity and empowerment. Now consider a daily scenario, a decision at work, a conversation to have, a conflict to navigate. Overthinking will suggest endless possibilities, fears, and strategies. Pause. Ask, what is mine to control? What action is reasonable now? Decide. Execute. Let the mind rest. Action is the antidote to unnecessary rumination. Reflect also on perception of time. Overthinking often inflates minor issues into monumental crises. Ask, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Most concerns collapse under this perspective. The mind learns to focus on what is important and within influence. Another exercise, mental separation. Visualize thoughts as clouds passing through the sky. Some are light and fleeting, some are dark and heavy. You do not need to chase or fight them. Simply watch, label, release. Decide which to follow, which to ignore. You are the sky, not the storm. Consider now habitual overthinking. Repetition strengthens neural pathways. If you repeatedly allow unnecessary thoughts to dominate, it becomes automatic. But habit is changeable. Replace repetition with a conscious choice. Observe, reflect, act, release. Over time, the mind shifts from reaction to mastery. Finally, practice evening reflection. Before sleep, review the day's thoughts. Which thoughts were useful? Which guided action or insight? Which thoughts were repetitive and unnecessary? How could I engage more consciously tomorrow? This reflection trains discernment. The mind grows stronger, quieter, sharper. Anxiety diminishes. Clarity expands. Peace emerges not from absence of thought, but from mastery of attention. Remember, overthinking is a choice. Attention is a choice. Focus is a choice. Virtue is a choice. The mind, like any skill, strengthens through deliberate practice. Each moment you choose reason over rumination, clarity over speculation, action over endless contemplation. You reclaim control, peace, and freedom. Breathe now. Feel the mind settle. Thoughts may still rise, but they no longer dictate. You have chosen observation. You have chosen discernment. You have chosen action where it matters. The rest you release. Tonight, carry this truth to sleep. You are not the stream of thoughts. You are the observer, the decider, the master. Overthinking is optional. You can choose peace. You can choose clarity. You can choose control. Imagine a typical morning. You wake, and instantly your mind begins to race. Emails, messages, meetings, deadlines, choices, some urgent, some trivial. The instinct is to dive in, to anticipate, to plan every possible outcome. But pause. Ask yourself, which of these thoughts demand my attention right now? Which are simply noise? This is the heart of choice. Overthinking thrives when attention is scattered, when you give unconscious permission for thoughts to dominate. Instead, practice deliberate attention. Pick one task, one decision, one thought, and fully engage with it. Let everything else wait. You will find that much of the imagined chaos never needed your energy at all. Now consider regret. You replay past actions endlessly. Oh, I should have said this, I should have done that. The past is gone. You cannot change it. What you can control is your current understanding and your present actions. Overthinking the past is optional. You can choose learning over rumination, insight over punishment. A practical exercise. Take one recurring worry, examine it thoroughly, write it down, ask, can I act on this now? Can I influence the outcome? Will it matter in the long run? For each no, consciously release it. Let the energy return to focus and reason. Over time, This practice trains the mind to distinguish between productive reflection and habitual overthinking. Next, explore fear of judgment, a common fuel for overthinking. You imagine what others think of your actions, your words, your choices. Pause. Ask, can I control their thoughts? Can I ensure their judgment aligns with my desire? No, then release it. Focus only on what is yours to govern, your honesty, your effort, your integrity. Now consider future outcomes. Overthinking inflates possibilities into catastrophic scenarios. The Stoics teach, do not fear events themselves, fear your judgment of them. Each imagined disaster is a mental exercise, not reality. Rehearse challenges rationally, act deliberately, then release attachment to outcomes. Another exercise, mental time limiting. When a thought begins to spiral, give it a set window, 2 minutes to analyze, consider, and plan. After the window closes, consciously shift attention to the present task. This trains the mind to engage purposefully, not compulsively. Consider also physical anchors. Anxiety and overthinking often manifest as tension, shoulders tight, jaw clenched, shallow breathing. Pause. Relax deliberately. Inhale 4 counts. Hold 2. Exhale 6. Feel your body signaling the mind that control is possible. Calm the body, calm the mind. Reflect on action versus analysis. Overthinking delays action, creating a cycle of paralysis. Stoic wisdom emphasizes think wisely, act decisively, and release. Action aligned with virtue, effort, and reason dissolves unnecessary speculation. The mind finds clarity in doing. A real-life scenario. You have an important conversation. Overthinking suggests countless ways it could go wrong. Pause. Identify what is yours to control. Your words, tone, preparation, and empathy. Everything else, reactions, timing, judgments, is outside your power. Focus on what is yours. Act. Release worry about what is not. This is mastery. Evening reflection is key. Before sleep, review which thoughts today were useful, which were repetitive or unnecessary. Where did I exercise deliberate choice over my attention? Through nightly reflection, the mind strengthens. Habitual overthinking fades. Deliberate attention expands. Insight and peace replace compulsive rumination. Finally, remember this mantra. I am not my thoughts. I choose which thoughts to follow. I act where I can. I release what I cannot. Repeat it silently. Let it anchor your mind, dissolve unnecessary worry, and guide attention deliberately. Overthinking is optional. Attention is your power. Focus is your choice. Action is your freedom. You are not a victim of your mind. You are the master. You have the ability to watch, choose, and release. Every moment spent overthinking is a moment you can reclaim through reason, clarity, and action. Breathe now. Feel the mind quiet. Thoughts may arise, but they no longer demand obedience. You are free. You are aware. You are deliberate. You are master of your attention. Tonight, carry this truth into sleep. Overthinking is a choice. You can choose clarity. You can choose focus. You can choose peace. You are in control. Imagine a scenario you've likely faced, a decision at work, a conversation with a friend, or a personal choice. Your mind races through every possibility. What if they misunderstand me? What if I fail? What if this leads to disaster? Each what if is a spark for anxiety, a fuel for overthinking. But pause. Ask, which part of this can I actually control? You can control your preparation. You can control your effort. You can control your clarity, tone, and reasoning. You cannot control their reaction, the outcome, or the opinions of others. Focus only on the controllable. This is the core principle. Directing attention and energy toward what is yours to govern. Now, a practical exercise. the thought triage. Take a repeating thought. Ask, 1, is it true? 2, is it useful? 3, is it actionable? If the answer to any is no, let it go. By practicing triage consistently, you train the mind to engage only with thoughts that serve purpose and reason, reducing mental clutter and unnecessary worry. Next, consider habitual self-judgment, a common driver of overthinking. You replay your actions, criticize yourself, or imagine what others think. Recognize this as a pattern, not a truth. Ask, does this self-criticism improve my actions? Does it help me act virtuously? If not, release it. Treat your mind with the same patience you would extend to a student learning a skill. Now turn to future uncertainty. Overthinking thrives on imagined disasters. Stoics teach that fear arises not from events themselves, but from judgments about them. Visualize a possible challenge tomorrow. Imagine it clearly, then plan your reasonable response. Once the plan is set, release attachment to outcomes. Preparation without obsession is freedom in action. A subtle but powerful exercise, physical anchoring. Overthinking often manifests in tension. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, a clenched jaw. Pause. Relax deliberately. Inhale slowly, hold briefly. Exhale fully. Feel your body telling your mind it is safe, that control is possible. Calm the body, calm the mind. Another exercise. Time-limited rumination. If a thought begins to spiral, give it a set period, 2 to 5 minutes, to analyze or plan. When the time ends, consciously shift attention elsewhere. This trains the mind to engage intentionally rather than habitually, transforming overthinking into focused reflection. Consider action versus thought. Overthinking delays action. It creates paralysis. The antidote is deliberate action. Decide, act, reflect. Action grounded in virtue, aligned with what you can control, dissolves unnecessary speculation and anxiety. Now imagine a real-life scenario. A difficult conversation with a friend. Overthinking suggests endless possibilities. Misinterpretation, offense, rejection. Pause. Focus only on what is yours to govern, your words, tone, intention, and presence. Everything else, their reaction, timing, or perception, is outside your control. Act deliberately, then release worry. This is mastery of thought and attention. Evening reflection consolidates this practice. Before sleep, review out. Which thoughts today guided useful action? Which thoughts were repetitive, unnecessary, or beyond control? How can tomorrow's focus improve, emphasizing deliberate attention over automatic? Rumination. Through repeated practice, habitual overthinking diminishes. Mindfulness grows. Insight and clarity replace compulsive speculation. Peace emerges, not from absence of thought, but from mastery of focus and attention. Finally, internalize this mantra. I am not my thoughts. I choose which thoughts to follow. I act where I can. I release what I cannot. Repeat it quietly. Let it anchor the mind, dissolve unnecessary worry, and strengthen deliberate attention. Overthinking is a choice. Focus is a choice. Attention is a choice. Action is a choice. Every moment spent ruminating unnecessarily is a moment you can reclaim through reason, reflection, and deliberate effort. You are not a passive participant in your mind. You are the master. Breathe deeply. Feel your body settle, your mind quiet. Thoughts may rise, but they no longer demand obedience. You are aware, deliberate, and in control. Tonight, carry this truth into sleep. Overthinking is a choice. You can choose clarity. You can choose peace. You can choose control. You are free. Chapter 5. Memento mori for rest. You lie awake at night. The familiar restlessness returns, thoughts spin, tasks, regrets, fears of the future. But now, pause and remember, you are mortal. The Stoics call this memento mori. Remember, you must die. At first, it may sound grim, even unsettling. But in truth, it is a guide to rest, a tool to release unnecessary anxiety. Mortality is not meant to provoke despair. It is meant to illuminate value. Life is short, fragile, unpredictable. Every breath is a gift. Every moment of peace, a treasure. When you recognize the inevitability of death, the petty concerns of the mind, the imagined failures, the imagined criticisms, the imagined disasters begin to dissolve. They pale in comparison to the finite nature of your time. Begin a simple reflection. Imagine the day has ended, the sun has set, and your life has concluded in a natural, peaceful way. What matters most? Likely not the emails, the arguments, the minor mistakes. What matters is the quality of your actions, the care you extended, the virtue you practiced. Let this perspective settle like a calm river in your mind. Memento mori is a reset for the mind. Anxiety thrives on attachment, to outcomes, to reputation, to comfort. Mortality reminds you that most of these attachments are temporary and ultimately irrelevant. The tasks that feel urgent, the problems that feel monumental, they are transient. Your life is measured not in small distractions, but in deliberate, meaningful engagement. Now, practice a nighttime meditation. 1. Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath. 2. Visualize yourself at the end of life looking back. Which worries were truly worth your energy? Which fears were baseless? 3. Let the unnecessary concerns drift away, leaving only clarity, gratitude, and calm. By consciously reflecting on mortality, the mind gains perspective. Small anxieties shrink. Restlessness loses its grip. Sleep becomes easier because the mind stops resisting reality and starts prioritizing what truly matters. Next, consider time as finite. Every minute is a resource that cannot be recovered. Overthinking, regret, and anxiety are wasted minutes. The Stoics remind us, do not squander time in unnecessary thought. Rest is not laziness. It is a conscious investment of your finite energy. Sleep is preparation for the next day, a renewal of strength to act with virtue. A practical exercise. Before bed, ask yourself, did I spend today on what mattered? Did I act according to reason and virtue? What can I let go of tonight, knowing tomorrow is uncertain? Let these reflections be your guide. Release what is outside your control and honor what you can govern. Your thoughts, your actions, your attention. Consider fear of death itself, a common source of nighttime anxiety. The mind magnifies it. What if I die young? What if I fail before achieving goals? The Stoics teach, death is natural, inevitable, and impartial. Resisting it is futile. Accept it as a fact, not a threat. By accepting mortality, you release fear and embrace the present. Another exercise, the evening inventory. Visualize the day as a series of actions. Reflect on. Moments of virtue. Where did I act wisely, kindly, courageously? Moments of attachment. Where did I cling unnecessarily? Lessons. What can I carry forward and what can I release? This reflection transforms anxiety into insight, restlessness into clarity. The mind, guided by mortality, prioritizes what is essential and discards what is trivial. Now, consider sleep as a sacred act. Just as life is finite, so is the opportunity to rest. Nighttime is not only a pause for the body, but a training ground for the mind. Before sleep, review your mortality gently. Let it remind you, the day is done. Control what is yours, release what is not. Allow the mind to settle. Allow the body to recover. A practical exercise for sleep. Lie down. Place a hand on your chest. Feel the heartbeat. Each beat is a gift, each. Breath a fleeting treasure. Whisper to yourself silently. I am mortal. I am alive. I am present. I release what I cannot control. Let thoughts come and go, but do not cling. Focus on presence and gratitude. Even minor disturbances, noise, discomfort, minor worries lose their power in the face of mortality. The mind recognizes that life is short, sleep is sacred, energy is precious. Over time, this practice builds resilience. You begin to rest without guilt, without racing thoughts, without resistance. Finally, reflect on legacy in the present. Mortality teaches that what matters is how you act now, not the imagined judgments or regrets. Every action aligned with reason, virtue, and care is meaningful. Each act of kindness, focus, and clarity becomes a small legacy, extending your influence beyond the immediate moment. Before sleep tonight, repeat, I am mortal. I am alive. I will rest. I will act wisely tomorrow. Let this settle in the mind. Let it calm anxiety, release tension, and prepare the body for deep, restorative sleep. Rest is not escape. Rest is preparation. Rest is acknowledgement of mortality and deliberate choice to honor life with clarity, virtue, and presence. You sleep not to avoid life, but to renew your capacity to engage with it wisely. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, carry this truth. Life is finite, rest is sacred, and peace is chosen. Memento mori is not fear, it is clarity. It is freedom. It is rest. Imagine now the day's stresses pressing down as you lie in bed. Thoughts about unfinished tasks, social obligations, or past mistakes try to dominate. Yet you remember, mortality is a guide, not a threat. These thoughts, however loud, are small in comparison to the vast truth of life's finiteness. Begin with a mental review of the day. Recall each event clearly without judgment. Identify which moments were within your control and which were not. Release every thought, worry, or regret that cannot be changed. This is a Stoic ritual of mental cleansing. By acknowledging mortality, you learn to differentiate the trivial from the essential. You release attachment to minor outcomes and preserve energy for actions that truly matter. Now consider the power of gratitude in this practice. Life is finite, but each breath, each heartbeat, each small joy is a gift. Reflect on even the smallest aspects, a kind word, a satisfying meal, a moment of calm. Gratitude anchors you to what is real and present, reducing anxiety about what has passed or what may come. Next, a breathing and presence exercise. 1. Place a hand on your chest. Feel each heartbeat. 2. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. 3. With each exhale, imagine releasing worries and attachments. 4. With each inhale, absorb calm, clarity, and focus. This simple routine signals the body and mind that it is safe to rest. Mortality, once feared, becomes a gentle teacher guiding you toward presence and peace. Consider also visualization of impermanence. Imagine the world around you, people, trees, buildings, even your own body. Everything changes. Nothing lasts forever. Now shift focus inward. Your mind, your reason, your actions. These are what endure in their impact. By internalizing this distinction, anxiety about external events diminishes. You rest more deeply, knowing what is transient does not control your peace. A practical nighttime exercise. Memento mori journaling. Spend 5 minutes writing one thing you did today aligned with virtue. one worry or regret you will release tonight. One intention for tomorrow that aligns with reason and purpose. This ritual trains the mind to prioritize action, reflection, and presence, rather than dwelling on the uncontrollable. Each night, the journal becomes a bridge from anxiety to tranquility. Now consider fear of the future. Overthinking about tomorrow is natural, yet futile. The Stoics remind us, the future is uncertain, the present is yours. Focus on the actions you can take now, the thoughts you can govern, the care you can extend. Let the rest, outcomes, events, reactions, fall outside your sphere of concern. Another exercise. The body scan for release. Lie still. Begin at your feet, noticing tension. Slowly move upward. Legs, hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, arms, neck, head. As you scan, consciously release each area, imagining that with every exhale, tension and unnecessary worry leave the body. By uniting body and mind, you prepare for deep, restorative rest. Reflect on legacy and meaning. Mortality teaches that what truly matters is how you act in this moment, not imagined judgments or regrets. Each decision, guided by reason and virtue, becomes part of your life's meaningful footprint. Sleep is a chance to honor this, to renew your capacity to act wisely tomorrow. Now, integrate short evening affirmations. I am alive. I am present. I release what I cannot control. I acted according to reason today. I will continue tomorrow. Rest renews me. Sleep strengthens my mind and body. Repeat these silently. Feel the mind and body absorbing them. Let them anchor your attention to presence and acceptance. Finally, embrace sleep as intentional practice. Each night is an opportunity to cultivate calm, presence, and clarity. Mortality reminds you to prioritize rest, to honor your body, and to conserve energy for virtue and action. You do not avoid life in sleep. You prepare to engage with it more fully, wisely, and calmly. As you drift toward sleep, carry this thought. Life is finite, rest is sacred, and peace is chosen. Memento mori is not fear. It is clarity, freedom, and renewal. Tonight, allow mortality to calm your mind, release worry, and deepen rest. Tomorrow you awaken ready to act with presence, reason, and virtue. Chapter 6. The Art of Letting Go. You wake in the morning, and almost immediately, the mind pulls you toward obligations, worries, and imagined failures. The thoughts arrive uninvited, persistent, insistent. Yet pause. Take a deep breath. This is your opportunity to practice letting go before the day begins. Begin by listing the attachments that currently occupy your mind. A relationship, a goal, a perceived slight, or even a material possession. Simply write them down or speak them silently. Naming these attachments allows the mind to see them clearly and separate them from your sense of self. Observation is the first act of freedom. Now consider control versus influence. You can influence people, events, and outcomes, but you cannot fully control them. Overattachment arises when influence is mistaken for control. Pause before acting. Ask yourself, am I trying to control what is not mine to control? If so, release it. Direct energy only where it is effective. Imagine a scenario. You have a work deadline, but unexpected obstacles arise. Your mind screams with tension. This is unacceptable. I can't fail. Pause. Let go of the illusion that external events must bend to your will. Instead, focus on your effort, preparation, and response. The task that is yours to control deserves your full attention. The rest is outside your sphere. This shift transforms tension into clarity. Another exercise. Mental compartmentalization. Visualize a box in your mind labeled "What I Control" and another labeled "What I Do Not Control." I'll place thoughts, worries, and responsibilities into the appropriate box. Return repeatedly to this exercise whenever the mind begins to spiral. Over time, your perception strengthens, automatically releasing unnecessary attachment. Consider emotional attachments. Anger, resentment, envy, fear. These are not inherently bad, but clinging to them is self-destructive. When an emotion arises, label it, "This is anger. This is fear." Observe without judgment. Then ask, what action can I take that aligns with reason and virtue? Focus on action, release the rest. Now examine relationships and expectations. Often suffering arises not from events themselves, but from the attachment to how others should behave. Imagine a loved one behaving unexpectedly. Your mind may flare with irritation or disappointment. Ask, did I control their action? Can I change it? No. Release the imagined obligation. Respond with reason and care, and observe peace return. Introduce a nightly letting go ritual. 1. Review the day. Identify one event or worry that caused tension. 2. Ask, was it within my control? 3. If no, imagine it as a leaf drifting down a stream. Watch it float away. 4. If yes, consider how you acted with virtue. Release judgment of outcomes. This ritual trains the mind to release daily burdens before sleep, reducing anxiety and improving clarity. Over time, the habit transforms perspective. Fewer worries dominate the mind, leaving room for calm, insight, and creativity. Next, reflect on material attachments. Objects themselves have no inherent value beyond use. You may cherish them, but clinging creates fear of loss. Practice gratitude. Note the object's usefulness and beauty, then release it mentally. This does not diminish enjoyment. It magnifies freedom. A subtle, advanced exercise. The Stoic dialogue with the self. Imagine an internal conversation. Mind, I cannot bear losing this. You, why do I fear losing what is temporary? My virtue and reason remain intact. The rest is indifferent. Mine, but it matters to me. You, attachment is my choice. I choose clarity, peace, and freedom instead. Such dialogues, repeated mentally, reinforce letting go as a conscious habit. Your mind learns to challenge impulses, reduce compulsive attachment, and regain sovereignty over thought and emotion. Now address fear of the future. Over-attachment to outcomes creates suffering. Practice scenario rehearsal with the release. Visualize a challenging situation tomorrow. Consider possible outcomes, good, neutral, bad. Plan your actions according to virtue. Mentally release attachment to the result. By rehearsing and releasing, you train the mind to act decisively without being imprisoned by imagined scenarios. Anxiety diminishes. Readiness grows. Consider letting go of identity attachment. Often suffering arises when we cling to self-image, the person others perceive us to be, or the version we hope to project. Pause. Ask, does this attachment guide virtuous action, or does it enslave me to perception? Release what enslaves, retain what guides. Your character, effort, and virtue remain your true self. Now integrate physical reminders. Place an object on your nightstand, a stone, a leaf, a coin. Meditate on its impermanence. Imagine holding attachment similarly, temporarily, lightly, ready to release. Physical symbolism reinforces mental practice, anchoring letting go in experience. Finally, embrace letting go as daily discipline. Life will continually present new attachments, worries, and fears. Each morning, observe. Each day, practice. Each night, release. Over time, the mind becomes light, agile, and peaceful. You will act decisively, respond calmly, and sleep without unnecessary tension. As you lie down tonight, repeat silently, I release what is not mine to control. I hold only reason, virtue, and care. Peace is my choice. Feel the mind soften. Feel tension dissolve. Over time, letting go becomes natural. You are free, not from the world, but within it. You are sovereign over thought, emotion, and attention. This is mastery. This is art. This is freedom. Tonight, carry this truth into sleep. Freedom is not possession. Peace is not control. Let go. Rest. Act with virtue. Live lightly. Imagine a workplace scenario. A colleague criticizes your work publicly. Immediately, tension rises. Your mind races with defense, anger, or worry about reputation. Pause. Breathe. Apply letting go. You cannot control their words, only your response. Focus on your integrity. Respond calmly. Clarify if necessary, but release attachment to how they perceive you. Observe the freedom that comes from acting virtuously without clinging to outcome. Now consider friendship and expectations. A friend cancels plans. Your mind spirals. They must not value me. I'm being disrespected. Let go. You cannot control their decisions. Focus instead on what you can govern. Your kindness, understanding, and the quality of your own actions. Respond with grace, not attachment. You reclaim energy and peace. A practical dialogue exercise. Imagine two voices in your mind. Voice 1, attachment. I can't let this go. It matters too much. Voice 2, reason. Ask yourself, does clinging serve virtue, reason, or calm? If not, release it. Voice 1, but what if I fail? Voice 2, failure is outside control. Your response is within control. Choose action, aligned with reason. Let go of fear. Repeat these mental dialogues daily. They train the mind to challenge compulsive attachment, reinforcing clarity and inner freedom. Next, consider letting go of past mistakes. You replay moments, criticize yourself, imagine what you should have done differently. Observe these thoughts. Ask, does revisiting the past improve action or virtue? No. Release the past. Accept what has happened. Prepare to act wisely in the present. Habitual reflection without judgment builds resilience. Introduce a morning practice. Before the day begins, write down one potential attachment or worry. Set the intention. I will act wisely where I can and release what I cannot control. Repeat this daily. The mind begins the day with clarity, not tension. Now, a layered breathing and visualization routine. 1. Sit or lie comfortably. Inhale deeply for 4 counts. Hold 2. Exhale for 6. 2. Visualize each attachment as a balloon you hold. With every exhale, release a balloon, watching it float away. 3. With each inhalation, feel clarity, presence, and freedom filling the space left behind. This unites body, breath, and mind in the practice of letting go. It strengthens resilience, reduces anxiety, and cultivates calm. Consider letting go of identity attachments further. Perhaps you feel pressured to appear competent, successful, or admired. Pause. Ask, does this attachment serve virtue, reason, or care? If not, release it. The Stoics remind us, what matters is action in accordance with reason, not appearance. Acting virtuously frees the mind. Next, examine daily trivialities. Minor disappointments, traffic, minor conflicts, small failures can dominate attention unnecessarily. Practice micro-releases. Each time you feel irritation, ask, does this require my attachment? Does it serve virtue? If not, release it immediately. Small daily acts accumulate, training the mind to remain light, flexible, and at peace. Now, a comprehensive evening ritual. Review the day. Note tensions and attachments. Identify which were outside your control. Release them. Identify which were within your control. Reflect on how you acted according to virtue. Release judgment of outcomes. Whisper a final affirmation. I release what is not mine to control. I act with reason and virtue. Peace is mine. Through this practice, you integrate letting go into daily life. The mind becomes lighter, clearer, and more resilient. Anxiety fades, rest deepens. Action becomes deliberate, calm, and effective. Finally, imagine a difficult future scenario, an argument, a missed opportunity, or unexpected loss. Visualize the event. Observe your initial emotional response. Then practice letting go. Focus only on your effort, reason, and action. Release fear of outcomes. Let the mind rest in clarity. By rehearsing release in advance, real challenges are met with calm and composure. As you prepare for sleep tonight, repeat silently. I release what is not mine to control. I hold only virtue, reason, and care. Freedom is within me. Peace is my choice. Feel tension dissolve. Feel clarity expand. Letting go is not giving up. It is reclaiming mastery of thought, emotion, and action. Tonight, carry this truth into sleep. Freedom is not possession. Peace is not control. Let go, rest. Act with virtue, live lightly. Your mind, unburdened, is sovereign. Chapter 7. Stoic Sleep Rituals. You lie awake again as the familiar night stretches before you. Thoughts come uninvited. Tasks undone. Worries about tomorrow, regrets of the past. The mind resists rest, but tonight you will guide it gently. Tonight, you will use Stoic sleep rituals to calm the mind, release attachment, and prepare for renewal. The Stoics understood that sleep is not merely the absence of wakefulness. It is training for the mind. How you sleep reflects how you live. Rest is preparation, restoration, and reflection. Begin with evening reflection, a ritual practiced by Marcus Aurelius himself. Take a moment to review the day. What did you do well? Where did you act with virtue, reason, and integrity? Where did you stumble or act impulsively? What lessons can you take from it? Which worries or regrets are outside your control? Release them. Write these down or simply hold them in mind. Observation without judgment is key. Do not punish yourself for mistakes. Instead, learn from them. Let insight, not guilt, guide you. Next, mental triage. Your mind may attempt to replay events, project fears, or imagine worst-case scenarios. Ask yourself for each thought. 1. Can I act on this now? 2. Is it within my control? 3. Will it matter in the long run? If the answer is no, release it. Visualize it floating away like a cloud across the night sky. If yes, note it, and plan to address it tomorrow calmly and deliberately. Now, integrate physical awareness. The mind and body are connected. Tension in the body reinforces racing thoughts. Lie down and perform a slow body scan. Feet, legs, hips, abdomen, chest, shoulders, arms, neck, head. With each exhale, release tension. With each inhale, absorb calm and clarity. Your body signals your mind that it is safe to rest. Sleep is a deliberate act, a choice to restore energy and focus. A powerful Stoic ritual. Memento mori for sleep. Remind yourself gently, life is finite. Your time is limited. This night is a gift. Anxiety about trivial concerns fades in the light of mortality. By remembering the impermanence of all things, the mind prioritizes what matters: reason, virtue, presence, and peace. Next, consider letting go of the day's burdens. Thoughts about work, social obligations, or minor frustrations often cling, preventing rest. Consciously release them. Imagine placing each burden into a box. Close the lid. Set it aside. What remains is your attention, calm, and presence. Now, a Stoic breathing exercise to anchor sleep. 1. Inhale deeply for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. 2. With each exhale, imagine releasing worry and tension. 3. With each inhale, absorb calm, focus, and clarity. Repeat until the mind softens. Thoughts may arise. Let them drift without clinging. Your attention is deliberate. Your mind is sovereign. Another ritual. Visualization of control and release. Imagine tomorrow, tasks, challenges, interactions. Picture yourself acting wisely, according to virtue and reason. Then release the outcome. You cannot control everything, but you can control effort, integrity, and presence. Let this visualization reassure the mind and prepare it for restorative sleep. Consider also gratitude before sleep. Even small blessings, breath, warmth, a roof over your head, the support of a friend, anchor the mind in reality and reduce anxiety. Gratitude is the bridge between reflection and rest. A subtle mental exercise. Dialogue with the day. Imagine conversing with the day's events. Thank you for the lessons. I release the worries you brought. I will carry insight, not burden, into tomorrow. This practice frames experience as a teacher, not a tormentor. By reframing challenges, the mind releases attachment and prepares for sleep. Finally, repeat silently, I acted according to reason. I release what is not mine to control. I rest to renew for virtue and clarity tomorrow. Let these words resonate. Let tension dissolve. Let the mind soften. Sleep is not escape. Sleep is preparation. Sleep is training the mind for clarity, focus, and reason. Each night, these rituals strengthen your capacity for deliberate attention, freedom from attachment, and presence in life. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, remember, you are mortal. You are alive. You act with virtue. You release what you cannot control. You rest with clarity, peace, and freedom. Bookend in summary. Mastering your mind with Stoic wisdom. You've traveled through nights of worry, restless thoughts, and endless what if. You've explored the mind, examined your attachments, faced overthinking, and practiced letting go. You've learned to rest intentionally and prepare for each day with clarity. This journey was never about perfect control. It was about freedom within yourself. The Stoics teach that life will always be unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will frustrate you. Challenges will arise. But what no one can take from you is your reason, your virtue, and your choice. Let's remember the key lessons. 1. You cannot control the world, only your response. Life throws events at you like waves. You cannot stop them, but you can choose how to ride them. Do not waste energy fighting what is beyond your reach. Focus instead on how you act, think, and respond. 2. Attachment is the root of suffering. When you cling to outcomes, possessions, or expectations, you bind yourself to anxiety. Let go. Hold only what matters, your integrity, your actions, your values. The rest is indifferent. 3. Overthinking is a choice. The mind will invent problems, replay the past, or worry about the future. Notice these thoughts. Ask, is this useful? Is this mine to control? If not, release it. Freedom begins with choosing where your attention goes. 4. Mortality is your teacher. Remembering that life is finite is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to focus you. Each moment is precious. Each choice matters. Live with clarity. Act with purpose. Sleep and rest without unnecessary worry. 5. Rest is deliberate. Sleep is not escape. It is preparation. The Stoic rituals you've practiced help your mind and body renew. Reflection, gratitude, breathing, and letting go are tools that calm the mind, restore energy, and prepare you for action tomorrow. 6. Morning shapes the day. Start with intention. Set your focus on virtue, effort, and reason. Carry clarity into your actions. Face challenges calmly, knowing you cannot control outcomes, but you can control your effort, your words, and your mind. Now here's the core truth of Stoicism, in simple words. You cannot stop life from happening. You cannot make everyone behave as you wish. You cannot prevent loss, disappointment, or pain, but you can choose how to respond. You can hold your mind steady, your heart calm, and your actions virtuous. Your freedom is not in controlling the world. It is in mastering yourself. Your peace is not in circumstances. It is in clarity, presence, and choice. Every day, practice. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Release what is not yours to control. Act where reason and virtue guide you. Reflect on your actions. Learn. Improve. Rest intentionally. Restore your mind and body. When you embrace these habits, your mind becomes your ally, not your prison. Anxiety loses power. Overthinking fades. Sleep is calm. Actions deliberate. No, life becomes lighter, sharper, and freer. Think of life like a river. You cannot stop its flow. You cannot control the rocks or currents. But you can steer your boat wisely. You can move with grace, strength, and purpose. You can navigate with calm, not panic. That is the art of living. That is the wisdom of the Stoics. Tonight, as you close your eyes, remember you are alive. Remember you are free within yourself. Remember peace is a choice. Remember life is short. Act wisely, love deeply, rest fully. The lessons in this book are not just ideas. They are tools for life. Tools to calm your mind, strengthen your spirit, and guide your actions. Use them daily. Practice them intentionally. Let them shape your mind, your sleep, your mornings, and your days. Life is unpredictable. Thoughts will come. Challenges will arrive. But with these practices, you are prepared. You are steady. You are free. And that is the Stoic way.